How's it going, everyone? Parth with Atlanta JDM here to show off another one of our imports. It is 97 degrees outside. I've got the AC on full blast, feeling pretty good, and I'm riding around in a 1993 Mitsubishi Strada. It is basically Mitsubishi's version of a Toyota Hilux, in my opinion. It looks the same, it serves the same purpose. It's like the indestructible Mitsubishi. With a little bit of, obviously a little bit of differences, but it is very similar. And the biggest difference, I don't know if you can tell, for a diesel, I don't know if you've ever driven a diesel, they are extremely slow off of the get-go. This one's got a lot more pep. It does have a 2.5 turbo diesel. It's the same engine that comes in the Mitsubishi Delica. And honestly, if you've driven a Delica, just picture driving that car with a truck bed, because that is exactly what this is. The gearbox is very similar. A lot of the internal setup is similar, and like I said, it feels like I'm riding in a Delica, aka it's like a Delica and a Hilux met and did the dirty deed, and this was the product. I do prefer this engine to the Hilux only because I've driven a Hilux from the port, and like 4.5 hours from Savannah, and a diesel is like, you just gotta keep your momentum up. This one actually keeps up with the crowd. Like I said, it's got a lot more initial oomph, and it just feels a lot better. Obviously, when you let go of the gas, then you're like, oh, I feel that diesel feel, but really cool truck. Like I said, we drove it back from the port of Jacksonville, so this thing was on the road for 6.5 hours after getting picked up. Mind you, we drove through a hurricane to pick up this shipment. It was a June shipment, so definitely was worth all the headache and hassle. And just gonna do a quick driving demonstration. Like I said, it just pulls very well in lower gears off the get-go. Gearbox, like I said, feels exactly like shifting a Delica. AC has not been converted to R134. It's still R12, but it's still blowing cold. Like I said, it's like 97 degrees outside. It's ridiculous. And yeah, I'm just gonna cruise. The indestructible Mitsubishi. I really am not a big Mitsubishi fan. I'm sorry. Never have been. But I will say, when they were doing it right, it was in the 90s. I mean, it literally just feels like a Hilux, honestly. The steering is pretty stiff. It's still got a little bit of loose, like a little bit of play in it. Not as much play as a Hilux, or as the Hilux we had. But yeah, still pretty precise. In terms of size, they're about the same size too. I don't feel any more cramped, or I don't feel like I have any more space. Maybe a little more headroom, but that's about it. Like I said, they're very, very similar to each other. Yeah, I'm cutting all that mustard, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. This one, it's a 5-speed manual. Like I said, 2.5 turbo diesel, same as the Delica. It's got 4-wheel drive, automatic locking hubs, ice cold air. Like it's good. We'll go over all the other stuff in the walk around, which will be in just a second. But just wanted to show you how it handled. I'm not going to be doing any off-roading in this one. Just trust me when I say it works. My guy's tested it plenty in Japan. He lives in the middle of nowhere, so there's just nowhere practical for me to go fun-wise that's close, unless I drive like an hour out. Red Line's at almost $5 grand too. clutch feels really, really good as well. Really easy to get used to. Actually had a guy come up and look at this truck. I think he's trying to get financing for it, but we'll see. And he didn't even know how to drive a stick until he, you know, well, I mean, he's driven it, but I guess he hadn't driven it in a while. I don't know, blah, 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 but him and his buddies kind of helped him out, and he did the same little track circuit thing. You know, that's my go-to test drive one. He did it flawlessly with no, you know, issues whatsoever. I think he stalled it out like once or twice, but it was on that deserted road back there. Top speed in this thing was, again, around like 110 kilometers. That's kind of my sweet spot, especially for long drives from the port like that. You know, interstate driving in Japan is nothing like it is in the US. Like over here, we're wailing on cars at 80 miles per hour on 285, and in Japan they're going like 50, 55, if that, and making their way around wherever they're going. Come on, let me go. Like I said, just really smooth shifting. I mean, that's why the test drive's going to be short. There's nothing really to complain about this truck. It drives like a truck, it's smooth. And now we'll try to find some shade for the walk around, which could be right back here. So this is pretty much about as much shade as I'm going to find. I'm going to do a quick lap. This is one day after sitting outside after a $100 detail, which I'm kind of butthurt about, but it is what it is. Just a little dust. It's got that like Pajero look and then truck. But like in all my videos in the beginning, I always go over all the Cosmetic Booboos. This one really does not have much. Like I said, the hood is just dirty, so please just see, I tried to quickly get all that off. The biggest boo-boo on the truck isn't going to be anywhere on the body, even though it is a truck. Most of these are work trucks. The bed has been repainted. It's just a little bit of a darker blue. I don't know if you can tell or not. Try and show you, like right here, you can see it's a little darker than the actual body itself. But you can check on the lift gate. It's in pretty good condition. The bed's in really good condition. Got a little bit of surface rust right here. If I can get the Osmo to, yeah, there we go. And then you got some surface rust on the roll bar, which is pretty common. It's not even a part of the actual body itself. You can see in between the lift gates in really good condition too. Again, just a little bit of surface rust. Nothing that's chewing up anything, eating anything away. And the only other boo-boo was gonna be the top. You've got some big time fade, paint fade up here. Again, very typical for a lot of these cars in Japan. They don't really get the amount of coats that we get here in the US, and they just sit and bake in the sun and end up coming over like that. You can see right here too, a little bit of surface rust on that roll bar. Again, not a part of the chassis. It does look like it was a factory roll bar too, so. But aside from that, you've got the brush guard. You've got this awesome parking mirror, which is one of my favorite things in Japan, or on Japanese cars. Someone in Japan painted like a phoenix or something on here. I don't know. Like I said, though, it does match that same paint in the back. Japanese just do some of the weirdest stuff. Front locking hubs. Pretty big meaty tires too. It's got all the original flaps. Mitsubishi. Got some weird sticker back here. I guess they had a golden retriever. And the giant, let's not forget about the giant, you know, rain guards, aka smoking vents, that came from the factory also. That's pretty much it on the inside, or outside, aside from the little bit of surface rust on the bed and the roll bar. Again, underneath looks really, really clean. We haven't seen anything that has any serious indication of, you know, any big time rust. Oh, I did miss that. Little boo-boo up here. And a little bit of scrape right there on the bumper. But we'll go ahead and check out the inside. You see door panels are in good condition. Automatic windows. Driver's seat. All the seats are in really good condition, all original. You do have a little bit of tear, or not tear, but play over here. You can tell the bolster's kind of fading just from getting in and out. Cup holders, big plus. It does have an aftermarket stereo. It is a Japanese radio, so most of you know, most of you don't know, it only goes up to 900 something FM. Back seat. Check out this side. Dash is in really good condition. Like I said, very similar to the Delica, along with the gearbox. It does have the stock altimeter. And it's got some weird like purple tint in the back windows, so it looks kind of like you're entering the Twilight Zone. Just one more look at the back. Headliner's in really good condition also. I'll go ahead and pop the hood for you guys. Like I said, it's going to be short. Not much to really complain about on this car. I guess I should tell you guys the miles. So like I said, it's a 5-speed manual, 4-wheel drive with automatic front locking hubs. The miles are 100, or kilometers are 122,186, and that's roughly 75,000 miles, give or take. And yeah, that's it. Whew, it's hot. Oh god. Oh shit. Whew. Struggling. Alright. Trying to see on the Osmo, just getting a bad glare from the sun. Trying to make sure y'all can see everything. Try and get on this side. You can see the timing belt was done right before shipping out of Japan, if it can pick it up. Hopefully y'all can see it. There it is. That Mitsubishi diesel. It's a really clean engine bay though. Let's see where I put the keys. Not that pocket. indestructible Mitsubishi. Like I said, very, very similar to the Hilux in shape, drivability, capability. I'm always going to go with Toyotas when it comes to reliability, but these things have a really good reputation also. That's going to be it, guys. Thank you again, and I will see you on the next one.